Thanks for tuning back in. We are still live here from the Navigant Credit Union Broadcast Center, here with our third and final guest for our Boozy Cocktail Special. Phil, thank you so much for joining us.
Thanks for having me.
We have Phil from Seed and Sip, which is a new concept, relatively new, right?
Yeah, about a year, yeah.
Yeah, so you're coming up on a year. Can you tell me a little bit about Seed and Sip and what it entails and your background, how you got started up with it?
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
So Seed and Sip is basically a mobile bartending service. We do weddings, corporate functions, birthday parties, retirement parties, anything that's going to really require some celebration cocktails and a lot of fun. We try to really keep things local and some type of aspect of the events, whether it be using local breweries or distilleries, wineries from the area, or we also team up with a lot of farms from the area. We'll do signature cocktails based off of kind of the things that we talk with our clients about.
Nice.
And we'll pick the produce and use the garnishes from the farms for the syrups that are going to go into the actual cocktails too.
That's beautiful. I love that you're able to pick and pull from local farms
Right.
and really emphasize local Rhode Island feels.
Right. It's
Awesome.
farm to glass. A lot of people are doing farm to table. We kind of push
Farm
the
to
envelope.
glass.
Yep, farm to glass. So
Okay.
keep it
Your own
local.
little spin on it.
You know it.
Yeah. So where were you before you started Seed and Sip over a year ago?
Where was I? So I've been in the business. It's myself and I have a business partner named Jeff. Between the two of us, we've got about 25 to 30 years of
Wow.
industry experience.
Okay.
I
It's good to know what you're doing.
Yeah, so I started when I was about 16, bussing to barback to server to bartender to manager, general manager. He was kind of the same way. He's more on the beverage side of it, but we've been in and around the Providence area between the two of us. He's a little more in the Cape in Boston recently, but since then we basically said, hey, there's something missing in this area that most people aren't doing, after especially a couple of cocktails we had. And,
Yeah.
we kind of joked about it at first, and then after a couple of days, we're like, this could actually work if we
Could
really...
be a really brilliant idea.
Right, so
yeah.
it seems to be doing all right so far. So
Awesome.
yeah, that's
Well,
how
I'm
it started.
happy to hear that.
Yeah.
I think it is a great idea because I think a lot of people, you think about a wedding, a lot of, you go to a venue, they probably provide the bar. I think a lot of people are starting to move in a different direction with weddings and events like that, where you'll have maybe something small, more intimate, a
Right.
backyard wedding where you'll need your own bar services.
Right.
Or let's say you're having a family reunion or something like that, that you may not be in that traditional setting where there is a bar that's provided and you don't necessarily want to, start to mix up your own cocktails and you don't know what you're doing. So it is really great to be able to have that professional, crafted touch from a local bar service at your own party. And what's more fun than that? You get to welcome them into your home,
That's
have
right.
a celebration, cheers over a couple of drinks.
Oh, yeah.
So I think that that's really special. So what kind of events were you doing over the summer and recently?
Well, this summer was our first full year. By the time we actually got licensed back in, I think it was February of last year, a lot of people were already booked for weddings. When you're doing weddings and things like that, a lot of people are booking far in advance. So we
true.
kind of missed the mark. We only did about 10 events last year. This year we've gone way above that and done about
Wow.
40.
Oh my gosh.
So this summer's been pretty busy. I mean, every Friday and Saturday we were pretty much booked for the summer. And it's unique because every event, even though we're bartending, every event is different.
Okay.
So most of the time I'm not even meeting the person who's throwing this party until we actually get there. And then a lot of times you're not seeing the space until you get there either.
So you don't know what you're working
There's a lot of challenges.
Might
So
be a big space, might
right.
be a little teeny tiny
Exactly.
closet.
So, I mean, I should back it up a little bit. We can actually do everything from just showing up and bartending, or we could provide the whole service, which is we have rustic mobile bars that we bring in. We have
so
some
cool.
ladder back bars. We can bring all the alcohol. We have the licenses to do that. We have, all the ice, the cups, the things that you probably wouldn't think, but you do need.
Yeah.
So, stairs are a big factor. When you don't think, when you're carrying hundreds of pounds of things, one stair can
Lots
be.
of bottles, lots of glassware,
Right.
ice, all that
Exactly.
stuff can be really
Yeah.
heavy.
So one event where I can park right down the road and unload takes me an hour, and then I show up the next day to another event and they make you park half a mile down the road, and you're like, okay, this is going to take me a lot longer. So
Yeah.
you scramble sometimes, but we learn as we go, so that's what's fun about it.
Yeah. So you can do anything from, let's say I want to have you come bartend my party. You could do a cash bar, or it could be like an open bar style where you bring all the booze, you make it up. You could have a cocktail list. Is that right?
Yep.
That's so cool.
Yeah, so we have all the options. We try to customize all our menus. We don't like to make it where if you were to come to an event on Friday that it would be the same on Saturday.
Okay.
You know, the base of it is obviously the same, but the cocktails we're going to do differently. Maybe the setup of the bar will be a little different. So it's a different feel for each event. And we really try to cater to what the host is looking for too, whether it be budget friendly or theme friendly. One of the weddings we did this year, she had lavender as her flowers. That was like in lavender and the colors and the scheme and everything like that.
So of course
we made a lavender gimlet. So lavender gimlet with, you know, some garnish, a lavender garnish. And I mean, the drink was great, but it really it tied in with everything that she was trying to do.
Makes it
so
that much more special
exactly.
rather than just having, you know, regular traditional drink. You know, if lavender means something to you personally,
Right.
and it's, you know, the most special day of your life, you know, you want to have all of those fine details,
Right.
and it's great that you can really contribute to that.
Definitely.
That's wonderful. Now, do you have a personal drink of choice?
I'm easy. When I go out, I'm more of a beer guy, but it depends on what I'm in the mood for. So I can go anywhere from gin to rye Manhattan to a Miller High Life. So I mean, it really does vary on the day. Yeah. When I get out of here, it'll probably be a vodka and soda or something like that.
Halloween drink this year is a vodka soda.
For me, it will be. We'll see what happens.
Nice
Right?
and simple.
Exactly.
You can't mess it up.
Yeah, I know. I try to keep it simple. So.
Yeah, well, I'm sure you spend a lot of time mixing up your own cocktails.
Yes.
Now, you have a couple of different simple syrups, or it looks, do you make these yourself?
Yes. So part of what we do is we'll make the syrups beforehand, depending on if we're doing signature cocktails. Again, we can always just do beer and wine service, whatever the client's really looking for.
Okay.
But everything's done ahead of time. So there's a lot of love put into it before we actually get to an event. And I did make we're doing 2 cocktails today. I can go over, you want me to go over one of them now? Or?
Yeah, why don't you get started up with the first one?
Okay. So,
tell me a little bit about it.
Like I said, we try to keep things local. This one right here is going to be an apple thyme shrub. Shrubs are pretty popular over the past couple of years when it comes to cocktails. The history of the shrub, it's a shrub and it's an acidulated beverage. So you put apple cider vinegar in this. They were using it back in medieval times to preserve their fruits so that nothing would go or spoil quickly. And then it's really taken a turn into like the cocktail world over the past like about 5 years or so.
I see all sorts of different funky shrubs on menus, and I've never really known the background of it, but that's very interesting.
And it's fun too because there's a lot of ways that people can actually make a shrub. Some people like to cook it in a pan. This one I just actually blended instead of not cooking at all. Everyone's got their little way of doing it, so is
there much of a difference in taste?
Not really. I think blending it is just going to make it a little more of a froth when you actually strain it, but it'll break down more obviously when it's got heat added to it in a pan. So like I said, I blended this one. This one is apple and thyme, so I got the apples and thyme from all the produce actually today we got from Fort Town Farms in Seekonk, and this was just 2 chopped apples, a couple things of thyme, some sugar, some water, and a little bit of the apple cider. You blend it, and then you strain it through a strainer, and it comes out a liquid like this.
Beautiful.
Yeah, so it's some nice stuff. And then this is just some fresh squeezed lemon juice, and then this is Loyal 9 vodka.
I love Loyal 9.
From Sons of Liberty down in North Kingston area. We like to work with them a lot. Yeah, they're good guys to work for, or work with, I should say.
So this is a vodka-based cocktail?
So this is a vodka-based cocktail, yep. So I'll put that together for you. So definitely, it's pretty simple. We try to do things, a little more intense than the normal bar service, but at the same time, we have to keep in mind that there could be a possibility of 200 people that want drinks for a cocktail hour or something like this. So you don't want to make things that are extremely difficult.
Complicated beverages.
Exactly.
That, lots of measuring and pouring and shaking.
Right.
That, if you have to do a high volume, high turnover, that it could be potentially an issue. So, but you still are able to put your own touch on it.
Right. I mean, we totally can if somebody wants it like that, but we try to work with the hosts of an event and kind of explain and guide them through the process of all that stuff. So basically what I did was 1.5 ounces of the vodka, 1.5 ounces of the shrub, and then it was just 1/2 ounce of lemon juice. And then we're going to just shake it up. We'll give a little smile. Shake that nice. And then we're going to strain it. I'll strain it over here if I could.
And I love these big cubes.
So I got the king cube.
You've got So this is called a king
King
cube.
cube.
Awesome.
So that, and then we'll finish it, of course, with the garnish.
Yes.
So just a simple thyme garnish. So we try to do something fallish, and we try to do one for actually Thanksgiving. So for everybody watching that wants to impress their family at Thanksgiving.
Yeah, you beat me to it. I was wondering if you have any recommendations for cocktails?
This would be it right here. Actually, I would go with the rye for Thanksgiving because
Okay,
a
so
lot of
what we see
heartier
next?
stuff. That's what we're gonna see next. Yeah. So that one's a little lighter, a little more on the refreshing side.
This is beautiful.
Thanks.
Yeah, the thyme definitely shines through here.
Definitely does. And you know, it's New England, so one day it's 10 degrees out, and tomorrow it could be 60. So
never know.
that
Stay on
you
your
could,
toes.
yeah, that you could definitely kind of drink throughout the year, and it keeps you having fun for sure.
I love it.
And then this one was, what did we do here? We did a cranberry old fashioned.
Ooh.
So cranberries, again, we got from the farm 4 towns. This one was a little different in the cooking process. We heated things up in a saute pan. It was some fresh cranberries. We did some nutmeg, some cinnamon, sugar, water, and that was pretty much it on that. But cook it down. Once everything melts together, you let it steep for about an hour. So, an orange zest, I should say.
Orange zest, okay.
Let that orange really kind of get into the liquid of everything.
Yeah.
And then once that happens, you, like I said, you let it steep for an hour, then you strain it again, and it comes out to be a nice little flavor like that. So this one's a little different. It's more of a boozy cocktail. That was 1.5 ounces of vodka. This one's going to be 2 ounces. So just be careful, you know.
Don't go too crazy.
Drink responsibly.
So this is something you think that is relatively appropriate to be able to make yourself at home?
Oh yeah, you can definitely do. This is just 3 steps. Again, if anyone wants to check out a recipe, they can definitely go on our Instagram or Facebook. We're happy to share some recipes with everyone.
Oh, that's awesome.
And as you can see, this is a little more thicker in the process.
Syrupy?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So that, we're doing 2 ounces of that. This is only 3/4 of an ounce, and then we're going to do 2 dashes of bitters.
2 dashes of bitters.
Yeah.
Now, bitters is something that you will find on just about every bar
Right.
anywhere. And if they don't have it, I would question that.
Yeah, exactly.
So
That's a good point.
What exactly is bitters? What does it do for a cocktail?
It just has a lot of aromatic flavors to it. If you go to the big cocktail bars, they'll actually have like
Different kinds
a
of bitters.
ton of different bitters. I
Yeah.
mean, celery, blood orange, there's tiki bitters, there's hellfire, there's everything under the sun.
Wow.
So it just really shines your cocktail flavors through.
Wow.
But this is your basic aromatic bitters. It just opens up the flavors a little more, especially of the rye. So on this, you'll taste the rye a little more than you'll actually taste the cranberry, but you should get like subtle notes of it
Yeah.
as you're sipping on it a little more. So same thing. We're gonna shake this up. Do this at a wedding, and you do it about 300 to 400
Oh
times.
my gosh.
You'll
Your
feel it.
shoulder is going to
Yeah,
be sore
yeah.
the next day.
You feel it by the end of the day.
Yep,
That's for sure.
definitely.
So this one again, we're just gonna do over a king cube. You could do this with regular ice too. It's not. I like the king cubes because
It looks cool.
it looks cool, definitely, and the ice lasts a little longer, so it's
Okay.
not getting
more dense ice.
it's not getting diluted as much.
Okay.
So this was actually the orange zest that we used in the cooking process. So
Awesome.
it still has like some sugar flavor to it. So
Around
I've
the rim.
yeah on the rim, and then if you really want to get fancy, you can throw a cinnamon stick in there as well.
Awesome.
And
This
that's
is
your
for me to taste.
cranberry old fashioned. You can smell it from here.
Oh my gosh, it's so good. And I have to say, I'm not going to lie, I'm not the biggest bourbon drinker, but this tastes wonderful.
Awesome.
This makes me feel like I should be like wrapped up
Feels like fall, right?
by a fireplace, like post turkey on Thanksgiving, like just having a nice cocktail. This is just so it's wonderful.
Good.
It smells good. It tastes good.
That's the point, right? That's what we try to do. Especially we do some gin cocktails too. A lot of people
Yeah.
are afraid of gin
Yeah.
or rye. A lot of people don't like the taste of rye. But when you're mixing it and you're kind of educating people on it, they learn to appreciate it more.
Yeah.
We actually did a cocktail with JP Weiser. This is the brand that we're using for the rye. They're a Canadian-based company.
Okay.
We wrote an article for them for Bar Business Magazine, which is like an industry-based magazine, specs and talks about trends and things like that. but we were able to work with them, and they gave us some samples, and we mentioned them, and made some cocktails for them. And it was cool. So it was all community based. Yeah, and that's exactly what we try to do here: educate people, form relationships with the farms, form relationships with brewers and distillers, and just have a good time, make some good cocktails.
Yeah, I mean that makes everything that you're doing a little bit more special.
Right.
Definitely, it helps establish relationships with your clients
Right.
even better.
Mm-hmm.
That's awesome.
Yes, very much so.
Excellent. Now, where can our viewers find you on Instagram so that way they can stay up to date
Yep.
with where you're going to be doing events and maybe some recipes?
That's right.
for
We'll definitely
Thanksgiving coming up?
recipes. We usually do some Christmas time things. If you're looking for some gifts to give out, we'll make some
Cool.
syrups for everybody,
What a
and
great
we'll give you
idea.
the recipe, and then all they really need to do is go out and get the alcohol, or you can buy it for them if you want, and we'll have the recipes on there. So it's a nice little Christmas present, or even birthday
Stocking
present.
stuffer.
Exactly. So
Yeah.
we can do. Last year I know we did like 8-ounce. The little carafes, or all the way up to 32 ounces. So you can get a lot of good drinks out of those things.
Yeah, definitely.
So that's
You like to host and-
exactly. You can find us on Instagram. It's Seed and Sip, SEEDANDSIP instead of the ampersand and Facebook would be Seed ampersand and Sip. So it's a little different. So, but you can definitely find us there. You can message us, either one, and we'll be happy to respond back to you.
Awesome. So definitely keep that in mind this holiday season when you're looking for gifts or you're looking for just a cocktail. Maybe you're hosting Thanksgiving or Christmas at your house this year. You really want to impress your family members. Give them something really good to drink, something sweet and a little bit bitter, really good flavors to welcome your family into your home. What a great idea for the holidays.
That is.
Yes, awesome. Well, thank you so much for joining
Thank
me today,
you.
Phil. We really appreciate your input and for these lovely cocktails. I'm going to have a couple more sips of them before we head out today. And I really reach out to all of our viewers. Have a safe and happy Halloween tonight.
Yes.
Eat lots of candy. You might get a little toothache, but it's okay. It's totally worth it. Thank you all for tuning in. Make sure you all stay tuned because Kate is coming up at 4 o'clock. So make sure you check in for that as well. And have a great rest of your week. Thank you.